be mindful of that.
So talking about young people and giving them the space, you know, to be able to explore and do things that sometimes you just wonder if, you know, in a certain social construct, people are not given the opportunities, you know, to just go out and explore and develop themselves and become whoever they dream of becoming. We do have a young man.
Yes, we do.
Dave. And, you know, his story is just fantastic, you know, right here from the shores of Ghana, you know. That's him on the screen.
Yes.
There. Now, he's a chess champion.
Yes, he is.
He's a chess champion.
He won the Africa Under-9 chess champions. Yep. So he's a continental champion.
He's a continental champion.
He's not a local champion.
Yeah.
He's an international champion at 8 years old.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. It's laudable. And like you said, it's brilliant to see young people exploring their potential, and especially parents, teachers, the adults who you know, have guidance over these young people, encouraging them to be the best that they can be. And I am so proud of him. I'm glad that we're going to get to speak to him. I mean, I want to know what goes through his mind, because chess is not an easy game to play. I've forgotten how to play, so I'm hoping you can teach me, give me a crash course, you know. I'm hoping you can give me a crash course. I've forgotten how to play chess. I haven't played since I was 8 myself. Yeah. So it's been a very long time.
Well, let me say I played into my teens, but I honestly haven't played in that long time.
I took a liking to checkers, but also because at the time my family was living in the U.S. and checkers at that time was more popular than chess. Okay. You know, at least in my community. Of course, checkers is like draft.
Okay. So
checkers is like draft. You know.
So it's not as challenging.
But I do have a chessboard at home, have at my parents' place as well, and. You know, Dave has inspired me to take it up,
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's meet them. Father and son, David Acheampong, good morning to you. And also Dave Chief Acheampong, good morning.
Good morning.
Fantastic. It's good to have you both with us here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's talk about chess. And at what age did you realize that your son had an interest? Did you play chess at home yourself?
Yes. I'm very passionate about chess. Okay. I did play a lot of times at home. A lot of my friends were also chess players, so they keep coming home. We play together. Okay. And since he was at home also, he always had the chance to see us play. And I think that's one of the reasons why he fell in love with the game very, very early. Okay. And we also founded have an organization that's called Mentors Chess Academy, and we help promote chess in schools. So it's a team of friends who do this. Okay. Yes, and that's how we got involved as well.
Okay.
So Dave, how do you feel? What was it like winning this trophy and your medal? Are you happy about it?
Yes, please. The tournament was difficult, but I think everybody played well.
So, how long did you have to prepare and practice for the tournament?
I'm going to say as much as I have to, because in Greece, more other people will be stronger than me. They'll know some of them have been playing more than me, so they'll know better.
Were you nervous?
Yes, yes.
So what did you do to overcome the nervousness? How did you deal with it? Because you won. In the end, you won.
Yeah, you are the champion.
Championship. So
absolutely.
How did you get over your nervousness?
You won recently, yes.
Yeah.
I just had to practice more, play more games. Then I was able to win and overcome everything.
Okay. And the championship was held online this year, I
yes,
understand.
This was held online
pandemic.
Because of the COVID, yes.
Okay. Dave, was that different for you, playing online? So how did it work?
Some people made some mistakes because it was online. We had to use the laptop. Okay. So it was easier to make a mouse slip. Then a piece can move this way where you don't want it to move. So it was difficult to be able to move the pieces. Some people even lost because of that, but it was very good.
Okay, so that means that you had to practice with a laptop too?
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Now, for you, David, as a father, how important is it when you're talking about education to encourage our children, not just academically, but to explore other fields?
Yes.
How important is that? I mean, you said you have some colleagues, you've come together, you've set up this club and so on and so forth. How important is it?
Yes, you know, for years now, studies have shown how beneficial chess is when it comes to children, when it comes to education in general. You know, it teaches them a lot of things that normal mainstream schools wouldn't teach you when if you don't play chess. So, for instance, teaching you how to be patient, how to solve problems, you know, analytical skills, creativity. These are things that you don't usually get through the normal mainstream education. So it's very, very important. And of course, most of us have been to school, finished schools, and yet we couldn't really get anything out of our education. And it's something that helps you to think outside the box. You know, helps you to be very patient when you are dealing with stuff. You're able to think about the consequence of your actions, and this is very, very important life skills that you don't get from just education. And it teaches you a lot of things to even helping you in class, because there's a lot of calculations in there, logical reasoning helps you to solve problems much easier, and then your math, you know, and most times studies have shown that those who play chess end up having better test scores than those who don't in schools. This is our documented research that is there.
Now, David, I'm very interested and excited by what you're saying, because like you said, we don't encourage our students to get involved in co-curricular activities. It's what you do in the classroom, and that's all. And for me, coming from a teaching background, we know we have different kinds of intelligences. Some kids are just more skilled with their hands and you know, their creativity. Some are very good with numbers, but you don't see it in a math textbook or when they're working mathematics. You see it with things like this. So I'm wondering, how affordable or otherwise is a chessboard? I mean, is this something that you think we could do widespread as a nation, encourage more of our young people to play? Because you've mentioned analytical skills, you've mentioned calculations, you mentioned problem solving. These are all skills that we want our young people to have. But if we are able to buy a chessboard and the pieces, and it's not so expensive, maybe it's something we can be advocating for.
Maybe nationwide.
Yes. And I'm happy you brought this up, because in other countries, for instance, as part of the curriculum, it doesn't exist as a co-curricular or extracurricular.
I see.
You know, and such countries have seen the need for them to have chess as the main thing. So this way you have, sometimes you have maths, English, this you have chess in school, and it's compulsory for everybody to take part.
It's like an application of knowledge.
Very
activity.
Good. That's right. That's right. And so it's very important for. We started some advocacy work. The Parents Association, Ghana Chess has started some advocacy work as well, trying to make sure that there is more chess in a lot of schools, and it's much cheaper. Looking at the things that you learn from playing chess and the cost involved is way cheaper. It costs less than 100 cedis to get a very good chess set, and you can easily start a chess program in any school at all.
So a set like this, how much would it cost?
This should cost about, let's say, 50, 60 cedis.
So it's actually not that. Something we can invest in.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so like I said, the last time I played chess, I was 8 years old myself, Dave. So I forgot. I mean, I know some of the pieces. I can see the queen, the king, the pawns. I can see the knights. Yes, but how do you play? How do you play?
Sure, Dave, why don't you show us exactly how, if you're going to teach, let's say, your younger sibling how to play chess, how does that work?
First, you must know the board.
Okay. So teach us the board. What should we know?
The board is made out of 64 squares.
64 squares. Okay.
8 on each line.
Okay.
Now you have the pieces. On the board.
Okay. Can you tell us the names of the different pieces?
This is the pawn.
Okay.
There's much space on the board. It moves 2 steps where it's on his first row.
Okay.
Or you can move 1 if you want. this is the knight. The knight moves differently than all of the other pieces because it can move and hop over other pieces.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's the only piece that can get out of the back row unless the pawns are moved.
Okay. So if the pawns are there, the knight is the only piece that can move over them. Yes. Otherwise, the pawns must move first before the other pieces can move. Okay.
So this is the bishop.
Okay.
The bishop can move as long as the ones, unless it's on diagonal. So the bishop can move here, and every time this bishop's on a light square, so you can only move on the light squares.
On the light squares. Okay.
It will never go on the dark squares.
Okay.
The same applies to this bishop. Okay. This is the other knight, and this is the rook. The rook can move as far as it wants to, but only up, down, and sideways.
Okay. So up and down and then sideways.
So, and this is the queen, the most powerful chess piece. It can move. It can move diagonally, like the bishop. Also move up, down, and sideways, like the rook.
Okay.
And this is the king.
Yeah.
The king is the most important piece. It can only move one square at a time in each direction.
Interesting.
And if your king can't move and is in check, you've lost the game.
Okay.
So what does it mean when your king is in check?
It means it's in danger. It's like.
So give us an example. Set it up for us. Give us an example of a king being in check.
Okay, so.
Show us like a final move.
That'll be checkmate.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So set up a checkmate situation
like
for us.
Something like this.
Okay.
And now, if you play over here, threaten checkmate.
Okay. How come?
Because now, if you capture this, his king can't take back because the bishop is over here, and he can also come over here.
Yeah.
And he can check. And there's nowhere for him to move, so now he check here. Okay. So if he's supposing he plays something like this, now he can play checkmate.
Okay.
And now he won the game.
Yeah. Wow.
Amazing.
So that's how
There's a lot of tactics.
Strategies
involved in the game.
Clearly.
So, Dave, we have to wrap this conversation up soon, but how do you keep all this in your head?
I just have to I've been playing for a long time, so I play the same things over and over again until I master. So I've been playing this for a long time. I know everything in it. I know all of the track. So now I can play it without I can play it with, let's say, a grandmaster, and I won't lose in 10 moves like in any short number of moves because I've been playing it for a long time.
Okay.
So that means there are different plays.
So that's what I was going to ask about. Do you have, because I remember way back when I was a teenager that there were books and they had already scripted games that you could actually play and practice. So is that something like that?
Yes, there is, especially when it comes to the opening, we call the opening repertoire, you have a lot of openings that have been studied over the years. Aside that, there are a lot of variations among these openings. So it's a matter of memorizing some of these openings. It helps. Although you won't find the opponent playing exactly the same way, but it gives an idea on what to do. And that brings to mind the issue of pattern recognition. When you see the pattern time, you begin to know how to go about it when somebody plays this, what is the right thing to. And there are principles to follow. In the opening, you have to quickly play for the center, attack the center, bring out your pieces quickly, and they all help a lot.
It's all strategy.
Yeah.
If you understand the principles, it comes easier when the person plays something outside what you have planned. Yeah. And it happens, there's the King's Gambit, Queen's Gambit, Sicilian defense, all these are things that you have to try and at least know some of them.
Sounds exciting.
You can't
it sounds exciting, I know, right? Sicilian defense.
Yeah. So there's this series on Netflix, The Queen's Gambit, that I've been watching. So the little girl is much like Dave. She started when she was 9. She was in an orphanage, and she goes on to become an international champion.
Wow.
So Dave, you're an international champion at 8, right? You won the Under-9 African Chess Championship, and I'm hoping that in a few years, we'll see you on even more international stages in Europe, in Asia, in the Americas, and we'll be so proud because you're a Ghanaian, and we know you now. So we'll get your autograph before you go, so that we can say we know you when it gets to that point.
And most grandmasters starts like this. You know, it's something we have to look out for.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I good about chess, it's not difficult. You can just decide to start learning, pass a few years, and you'll be top. You can be very good. It doesn't cost so much compared to other sports. You know, sometimes the country can look at as a country and begin to focus on this for our young ones.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming in and sharing this experience
and
with us.
We're very proud of you, Dave. Very, very proud.
Dave, last question for you. Where do you see yourself next? What's the next thing for you?
To hopefully become a grandmaster.
Hoping to become a grandmaster. You will become
a grandmaster. You will.
All right. Fantastic. This is exciting.
I love it.
Exciting. Now I'm just thinking about it, you know.
I love it.
I have to go pull up a check for it.
You have to. And it calls for more, you know, support when it comes to this, because to be a grandmaster, a lot of games you must play, tournaments you must get into, sometimes outside the country. Hardly will you become a grandmaster if you are just in Ghana.
Exactly.
You know, there's no grandmaster in West Africa.
Oh, wow.
And that shows how rare it is to have a grandmaster. Nigeria is way ahead, they don't have any grandmaster. So it means a lot of work, a lot of support. We want to also try and appeal to people to support chess in general, and then support his dream of becoming a grandmaster as well.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that the GES needs to look at making it a mandatory part of the system.
Why are you talking plenty? You make noise, you'll do it.
Thank you very much. You're very grateful.
Fantastic.
Very grateful.
All right, so we have a lot more coming up in the show. So Dave Chief Acheampong and his father, David Acheampong, have joined us on the set.
David's namesakes.
Yes, I know, right? The Davids. Hey, what can I say, right? All right, and even our artist
is David, Samari of Davids.
Yeah, all right. So we